This is the only pure music. Music has united people for millennia, but nowadays it's been weaponized to divide us. I've personally experienced its uniting effects though, so I know what's possible. You see, I was born and raised in apartheid South Africa. I lived there until 1999, leaving a few months after Mandela's presidency ended. I loved Mandela, and he probably did everything in his power to unite the country. However, the story you don't often hear is that musicians were more successful in bringing the people together. Two of these musical heroes were Dube and Clegg. Their crossover appeal resulted in audiences that consisted of fans who would never have come together under any other circumstances. It was magical. That's the power of music. But it wasn't only their music that united the previously divided nation, it was their lyrics too. While they didn't sugarcoat the situation, they did choose to focus on a positive future vision where South Africans were united. As a result, their songs created that more united country they had envisioned. Now, when I listen to the new releases on Spotify every Friday, I don't hear much in the way of positive lyrics that were written to unite people. In fact, it's rather obvious that most lyrics were written with the exact opposite intention. But as Thumper said, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. The legendary rabbit uttered that wisdom over 80 years ago. It's time we start living by this rabbit wisdom, which is why I'm sharing my musical method for doing this. In the celebrity culture we live in, most music has vocals because popular music tends to be all about the vocalists. They're the stars, they're the main attractions. It's not about the song, it's about the celebrity singing it. That is wrong for so many reasons, but that's a topic for another episode. What concerns us here is something I called pure music in the title, but the formal term is absolute music. What is absolute music? It's instrumental music, but at its purest. What do I mean by purest? Music that is presented without any preconceived concepts. In other words, music without a conceptual title. Arguably the best example of this is Beethoven's Piano Sonata No. 14 in C-sharp minor. Beethoven composed this as absolute music. The listener could enjoy it with no preconceived ideas about what the music represented. Their imagination could conjure up whatever images it wanted. However, after Beethoven's death, this sonata was given a nickname by a music critic, and for almost 200 years now, this breathtakingly beautiful piano piece has been painting pictures of moonlight in its listeners' minds. How could it not? It is, after all, the Moonlight Sonata. But what did listeners imagine before it was given that nickname? We'll never know. We only know what one man imagined. This piece perfectly highlights the power of words, even one word. And with that one word, every listener ever since has been primed to imagine moonlight when the piece is played. Words are powerful. Words shape our reality. And that brings me to my main point. Songs convey their songwriters' worldviews, but it's precisely our differing worldviews that divide us nowadays. Up until a few years ago, it was perfectly normal to be friends with people who had different worldviews. In fact, that's what used to make friendships interesting. Who wants to hang out with another version of themselves? No, thank you. I want open-minded friends who are totally different from me with totally different worldviews from mine. That makes for fascinating conversations. Thanks to social media, though, the masses have been programmed into thinking that we need to surround ourselves with people who believe exactly the same things we believe. These online echo chambers fuel narrow-mindedness and intolerance. While I deleted all my social media accounts over 10 years ago, I know it's futile trying to convince people to do the same. It's by far the best solution, but another good solution is this. Stop listening to music with lyrics and start listening to absolute music instead. And if you're a songwriter, I encourage you to live by that rabbit wisdom. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. I appreciate that lyrics can be an outlet for expressing our disapproval at the other side. But there are better ways to do that which don't harm others, like journaling, for example. And until we realize that this ancient idea of the other side was invented by empires as a method for dividing and conquering the people, it's best if we hold our tongues and say nothing at all. And yes, as songwriters, holding our tongues means writing absolute music. But hey, as a consolation, this will save you countless days of your life because writing lyrics and recording vocals is extremely time consuming. And with regards to the music we listen to, if our audio diet exclusively contains absolute music, our minds and hearts will be healthier, kinder, and more tolerant. Everybody wins. Finally, when it comes to finding absolute music to listen to, that's easy in the classical genres, but there's not much of it in the popular genres. Here's a hack that I use to solve this problem. When I find an instrumental album that I enjoy, I don't read the titles of the tracks. For example, I love Bonobo, so I don't pay any attention to the song titles, and I exclude the few tracks on each album with vocals. Also on Spotify, and probably all the other platforms too, there are instrumental playlists in most popular music genres. These are great places for discovering artists who make instrumental music. And if you have any recommendations for artists making great instrumental music, please leave them in the comments so everyone can check them out. Sadly, there are not many absolute artists, so we need to support them. And hopefully this episode has inspired you to join their mission too. On that note, if you're interested in learning songwriting or improving your skills, but you don't want to spend loads of time doing it, then I invite you to visit our website, hackmusictheory.com, and help yourself to the many free downloads. If you're a beginner, start with my free book, 12 Music Theory Hacks to Learn Scales and Chords. It only takes about half an hour to read, then you'll have a solid foundation of the basics. And if you're intermediate or advanced, download the free PDF tutorials. They're step-by-step musical recipes that you can follow to make better music. If you're ready to go deeper though, then I invite you to enroll in my online apprenticeship course where you'll learn one method to write unlimited songs in any genre. This method guides you through every step of the music making process, from blank screen to finished song. You can find all these offerings and more over at hackmusictheory.com. And lastly, I don't paywall any of these episodes as I don't want to exclude anyone. So if you can spare a few bucks, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. It's only the cost of one coffee per month for you, but if enough people join, then I can pay the rent and keep helping you every week. So if you'd like to see my work continue, head on over to hackmusictheory.com/join. A heartfelt thank you for being here and welcome aboard the Songwriter's Ark, where all the music making skills are being preserved through this global AI flood. The flood shall pass, the skills will last.